Well, gather round folks, because we've got a new contender in the gaming arena, and it's not your usual run-of-the-mill shooter. No, it's Mouse. And no, it's not a game where you chase a cursor around the screen, though they might have been oddly entertaining. So Mouse, brought to you by the Polish masterminds at Fumi Games, is stepping into the spotlight with a new gameplay trailer. But before you ask, no, it's not about a heroic rodent saving the Cheese Kingdom. Instead, it's a gritty and noir-filled FPS shooter, because nothing says gritty and noir like a mouse. The game, inspired by classic cartoons from the 1930s, decided it was time to spice up the gaming scene. The early look we got back in May was like watching a cartoon with temp art and grey levels. But oh boy, the latest trailer is here, and it's like witnessing the transition from black and white silent films to glorious Technicolor. In this noir city, you, the player, become a private detective. Yes, a detective mouse. The city is packed with games, mobs, and characters from the dark side. And here's the twist: the enemies behave like cartoon characters. Imagine shooting bad guys and they react like Daffy Duck on steroids. What's not to love? The gameplay trailer is a visual feast. New weapons? Check. Pump action shotgun? Double check. Enemies bursting into flames and turning into cartoonish piles of ash? Triple check. It's like they took inspiration from classic cartoons and injected it with adrenaline. The only thing missing is a Bugs Bunny cameo saying, "What's up, Doc?" The game seems to offer some high octane action, letting players dash around, blow off heads, and basically wreak havoc in a black and white wonderland. And let's not forget that glorious part where an enemy is set on fire and turns into a blinking pile of ash. Classy. If you've been yearning for a Cuphead experience but with a gritty twist, Mouse might just be your cup of tea. Get ready for a noir-filled adventure in 2025, initially on PC. But fear not, console enthusiasts, because Fumi Games has plans to sprinkle the cartoonish magic on the PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch. Let the countdown to Mouse Mania begin. Next up is Ubisoft, the gracious giver of games and the merciless taker away. In a stunning act of benevolence, they've decided to snatch The Crew, the car extravaganza from 2014, right out of the world. No warning, no farewell tour, just a swift delisting from all storefronts. For those blissfully unaware, The Crew was a masterpiece in weirdness, an open world driving game with a narrative that felt like it was crafted by a fever dream involving car gangs and melodramatic criminals. But hey, who cares about the plot when the game embarks on road trips across a squished and not to scale USA? The game servers have been the virtual asphalt for your tire burning antics since 2014. But wait, there's more. Ubisoft, in a move that surely didn't involve rubbing their hands together in a villainous delight, confirmed that the service will be unplugged on April 1st, 2024. Yes, April Fool's Day. How fitting, because nothing says we appreciate our players like turning off the lights on a beloved game. The announcement, or rather execution notice, came on December 14th. Ubisoft swiftly removed The Crew from console storefronts and Steam, leaving players in a state of digital shock. Rumors swirled until Ubisoft, in an act of digital mercy, posted a letter on their website explaining that yes, The Crew is gone for good, and on April Fool's Day, no less. The cruel twist in this tale: The Crew is an always online experience, so once those servers breathe their last breath, the game follows suit. Poof, gone. Ubisoft, ever the bearer of bad news, tried to soften the blow by hinting at refunds for recent purchases. But hey, what's a refund compared to a heartache of losing access to a game you bought? Ubisoft, in their solemn statement, claimed this digital assassination was a necessity due to the upcoming server infrastructure and licensing constraints. Ah yes, the constraints that conveniently align with the cold-hearted shutdown. But fear not, dear gamers, for Ubisoft still has The Crew 2 and The Crew Motorfest to keep your driving dreams alive. As we wave goodbye to The Crew, One can't help but wonder, couldn't games be built to survive the demise of servers, or are we destined for a future where beloved titles become unplayable even if you own the precious disc? The mysteries of the digital afterlife still eludes us. And now, the rollercoaster ride of emotions for the Last of Us Online fans. Naughty Dog, in their infinite wisdom, decided to drop the bombshell that the much anticipated multiplayer spin-off is, well, not happening. Cue the collective sighs of disappointment from the devoted. In a dramatic December 14 update, Naughty Dog spilled the tea, or rather broke the hearts of fans. The studio, with a touch of melancholy, revealed that the development of The Last of Us Online has been officially thrown into the digital graveyard. Yes folks, it's game over for a multiplayer experience that many were eagerly anticipating. The studio's excuse? They're just too busy making those blockbuster single player games that PlayStation users gobble up like candy. The options were apparently to either go full live service mode like Destiny 2's Bungie, or stick to the roots of crafting narrative-driven single-player experiences. Tough choices, I know. Who needs a vibrant multiplayer community when you can have a cinematic, emotionally charged single-player adventure? I believe this was the right choice, but hey, who am I? The Last of Us, only initially known as Factions, had its moment in the spotlight during Summer Game Fest 2022. Teasing fans with promises of being Naughty Dog's biggest online experience ever. Oh, the hype, but alas, all we got were vague statements and concept art like a cruel game of hide and seek. Let's not forget the internal drama. Back in May, Bloomberg reported that the production team had to downsize following some not so glowing feedback from Bungie, Sony's latest acquisition. And then in October, Kotaku dropped the bomb that the project was put on ice. That's colder than a snow cone in Antarctica, right? But fear not, dear players, for Naughty Dog is cooking up a brand new single player game. They're keeping the details under wraps, probably to build up the suspense, but hey, at least it's not another live service debacle, right? So, to the devastated Factions community, Naughty Dog offers a virtual hug and a promise that they're working on something else, something solitary, something narrative, and to soften the blow, they graciously shared their internal struggle of choosing between multiplayer and the arguably better solitaire path. In the end, they chose their heritage. The joys of heartaches of the gaming industry until Naughty Dog unveils the next single player masterpiece. Let the mourning for The Last of Us Online begin. Strategy enthusiasts and disgruntled Total War fans, buckle up, because Creative Assembly is offering a public apology. Yes, you heard it right, the studio is extending a virtual olive branch after what it admits were a series of missteps. Roger Collum, Vice President of Creative Assembly, decided to do a bit of PR damage control, acknowledging the last few months have been harder for them than it is for your grandma to understand Twitter. The layoffs, the cancellations, it's like a soap opera, but with fewer love triangles and more disgruntled gamers. In a hard-fought blog post, Colum admitted, "We see the confusion, the frustration, the distrust of us across the community, and honestly it breaks our heart." Ah, heartbreak, the secret sauce for every successful apology. But wait, there's more. They're not just saying sorry, they're trying to win you back. Owners of the Shadow of Change DLC for Total War Warhammer 3, which apparently didn't offer enough bang for the buck, get a treat. An update in February 2024 promises more content for free. Free stuff, because who can stay mad when there's free stuff involved? Thrones of Decay DLC, initially set for winter 2023, is doing a spring makeover, coming to you in April 2024. But before you throw your gold coins at the screen, Colin promises transparency. You will know exactly what you're getting, unlike the mystery box you bought last Black Friday. Now let's talk about the struggling Total War Pharaoh, which is feeling lonelier than the last cookie in the jar. Creative Assembly is offering partial refunds because, while it's been discounted, they've chopped the price, and now to make things right, they're refunding the difference. It's like buying a sad looking puppy and the store later paying you because it's not a purebred. Pharaoh has seen better days with a mixed Steam review rating, and its player numbers are so low you find more people at a knitting club. Meanwhile, Total War Warhammer 3 is strutting its stuff, ranking 79th on Steam. It's like comparing a blockbuster to a B movie that accidentally got into the A-list party. But don't despair, Creative Assembly isn't walking away from Pharaoh just yet. The next update, which was supposed to be paid, is now free and slated for an early 2024 launch. They're not closing the door, just redecorating the room a bit. Because hey, who needs doors when you have big plans? And remember, Sega already admitted their live service push was a bit of a blunder. So what's next? Only time will tell. Until then, let's hope Creative Assembly masters the art of making amends with their fan base and reinventing real-time strategy and not using the same old formula. And that's all I got for you today, folks. So if you like the news update, please give me a like and subscribe. If not, it was a pleasure having you here.